Ndị be anyị ekelekwanụ m unu. Anyị sị ka nke chiri ya zelu. Anyị sị ka ọ mara na Igbo na mma. Anyị adị ka Chineke ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru ya, otu akwa ya dịrị. Ise, ise, ise. Anyị dịka o si dị ụbọchị uhuruchi nketa anyị wetara nnukwu ozi. Biko geenụ ntị. Ife a bụ according to the Biafran activist wetara ya bụ ozi. Quote: good news and a big win to Biafran struggle as the street of Biafra in total celebration as UN shows full support to Biafra and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release and Mazi Simon Ekpa. Alright, this is according to the Biafran activist wetela ya bụ ozi. Bigo, ka ga godo na ya bụ ife. A ga-esi ya. Jọpụrụ ife iche n'ụdị nke gị gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile o wetela n'iru akwụkwọ. Alright, over to you.
Accept that what we have today is inevitable. Do not accept that you cannot transform anything. Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight. If we want to change the world, we need to unite, we need to mobilize, we need to fight for a better future for all, and that means to fight those that want to keep things as they are because they serve their interests, but in a way that would put into jeopardy the perspective of the future of our planet and of the well-being of the people.
I feel so empowered by what you've just said about collaboration, coming together, fighting for the things that we believe in, and I think that's a beautiful message that you've left us with, and I really appreciate that.
That's what we have today is inevitable. Do not accept that you cannot transform anything. Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight.
The person who is talking is Antonio Guterres. Antonio Guterres. He is the President of United Nations, the Secretary General of the United Nations. Did you hear what he said? If we want, let me take it back. I don't know how to talk. I get again.
Do not accept that what we have today is inevitable.
He said, do not accept that what we have today is inevitable. Let me rewind it.
Do not accept that what we have today is inevitable. Do not accept that you cannot transform anything.
Do not accept that you cannot transform anything. Antonio Guterres is talking. He is the president, the Secretary General, overall chairman of the United Nations. He is telling you something. He is talking to Biafrans. This is us. This man is talking to us. And if you listen, you will see that the woman she's talking to, the interviewer, the journalist, is a black woman, an African woman. So Antonio Guterres is talking to us. Pay attention.
Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to...
Did you hear that? He said, look at the impact. Look at the impact these movements is having all over the world and the fundamental changes that follows it. You think they don't know? You think they don't know? They know. Listen to it once again.
Look at the impact that you...
Look at the impact. Very, very... This word, I never expected to have it from United Nations chairman, overall boss, Antonio Guterres. I never expected... I thought we were the only ones saying it. I never expected... If you hear this type of statement from United Nations, my brother, Kwechiri CK, opening Akubu 1 naira before Mary 2 naira. Sorry, God forbid for using that word. Opening Akubu 1 ejemma, tunye 2 ejemma, Kwechiri CK, based on the stupidity of Tajuda Abbas and the Senate. chiri the United Nations now, so pay attention.
The impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental cannot transform anything. Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards.
So you see that? Look at the impact that these movements are bringing all over the world and the fundamental changes that follows it. That word, bagam, maybe everybody who is listening. Now let's continue.
So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight.
Did you hear that? If we want to change the world, we need to fight. And I go back here. Call the Biafra Liberation Army aka. Obuli na-ege ntị kụbalo Biafra Liberation Army aka, kụbalo Maazị Simon Ekpa aka, kụbalo Maazị Nnamdi Kanu aka, kụba aka gị, kwụsịba aka gị ike. Antonio Guterres, the overall president of United Nations, ndị ya ikpe na zoo, the people that will barely in a zoo say, if we want to be free, if we want to change the handwriting on the wall, if we want to change the narrative, if we want to change the world, we must fight. Nobody need talk. I've been saying it. Maazị Simon Ekpa has been saying it. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu has been saying it. Today, I'm very certain everybody is paying attention. Look at
the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight.
I can play this 1,000,000 times a day. Only that word. If we want, even the other one, I was crazy about the other one. He said, look at the fundamental, changes that these movements are bringing to the world. I was crazy about that. But now look at this one. He said that if you want to change the world, you need to fight. I can play that very part 1,000,000 times a day without getting tired, because he is telling me something. This man is talking to me. If we want to change the world, we must fight. If we want the zoo to leave us alone, we must fight. If we want Britain to leave us alone, we must fight. Did you hear that?
If we want to change the world, we need to unite, we need to mobilize, we need to fight for a better future for all, and that means to fight those that want to keep things as they are.
Kimi! This one has broken the camel's back. Hey! He cannot say it better than this again. He cannot say it better than this. Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? I don't believe you heard it. Did you hear that, my people? He can't say it better than this. Every single word he says is 100% directed to us and meaningful. Every word he says, very, very meaningful. Listening to that last one.
Fight. If we want to change the world, we need to unite, we need to mobilize, we need to fight for a better future for all.
We need to fight for a better future for now. Listen to this one now is about to say. Pay attention to it.
That means to fight those that want to keep things as they are.
That means, what is this fight we are talking about? He is asking, what is this fight we are talking about? He said that means to fight those who want to keep things the way they are, those that want to keep the status quo, Tajuddin Abbas, those that want to keep the status quo, Tinubu, those that want to keep the status quo, Musa, those that want to keep the status quo, Nesomike, those that want to keep status quo, Devomahi, those that want to keep the status quo, Labaja, those that want to keep the status quo, military, zoo, Janjaweed, police, navy, all of them. he said that we need to fight those that want to keep things the way they are for their own personal interest, for their own political and personal interest. He's going to say it. Listen.
We need to fight for a better future for all, and that means to fight those that...
Do you see how specific he is? These people don't miss word. They don't miss word. Do you see how specific he is? He is telling us those that we need to fight. Those who want to keep things the way they are for their personal and political interest. Pay attention.
For all, and that means to fight those that want to keep things as they are because they serve their interests, but in a way that would put into jeopardy the perspective of the future of our planet.
Hey! It don't finally happen. Those that want to keep things the way they are, that jeopardizes the future of that jeopardizes our future. Those that want to keep the status quo and jeopardize our own future, and jeopardize the future of your children, jeopardize the future of your generations unborn. He said that we must mobilize, we must unite, we must fight those that want to keep the status quo, that we jeopardize our future and the future of our upcoming generation. The person who is talking is the person who will sit on top of his own bench and judge the matter between Biafra and the zoo. He's the one telling us. You know, yesterday we were dealing with the African Charter because of the directive from the office of the Prime Minister. Today we have taken it from African Charter to United Nations. And why did we take it to United Nations? We have taken it to United Nations because people are sitting down somewhere in Abuja creating laws to criminalize the Biafra people, to criminalize anybody who dares talk about freedom. So we have taken it to United Nations to let them know, that those who are going to sit in that chamber to judge our case are the ones telling us to go ahead and fight. And he didn't say fight a breeze. He has told us the people we are going to fight against. This is the dagger. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back. You can't fight it. You can't fight this truth. You can't fight this honest truth. Let's listen to him.
Things as they are because they serve their interests, but in a way that would put into jeopardy the perspective of the future of our planet and of the well-being of the people.
And the well-being of the people. Hey! This is the first time I'm coming across this type of statement and interview from the chief of the United Nations, the chairman, the overall boss of the United Nations. The first ever time. Unbelievable. He didn't say we should agitate. This man never used any word less than fight. He didn't say we must protest. He didn't say we must agitate. He didn't say we must refuse. He didn't say we must reject. He said we must fight. That word is very, very simple. It's only one word. We must fight. And if the United Nations tells you to fight, who are you to say it is against the law? If the United Nations tells you to unite, who are you to say it is against the law? If the United Nations tells you to fight, who are you to say you will go to 25 years imprisonment? Who are you? Who are you to say no? These are the people that will judge our case with Nigeria. Now, let's listen to the end and then I'll play another video for you.
I feel so empowered by what you've just said about collaboration, coming together, fighting for the things that we believe in, and I think that's a beautiful message that you've left us with, and I really appreciate that.
You see? The girl interviewing him is an African girl, a black girl, a black African young lady. And you see the smile, do you see the joy, the happiness at the face of that girl? Do you see the smile, the joy? With that kind of word, that man is saying, because this girl wants the freedom of Africa. This girl wants Africa to be free. You see how she smiles. You see the smile. Can you see the joy? Because she wants Africa to be free. Whether she lives in America, whether she lives in UK, whether she lives in Switzerland, she knows that she's an African. Whether she was born in Switzerland, she knows that she's an African. And she knows the predicament. She knows what is befalling Africa. She knows what Africa is passing through. So for her to hear this kind of word from United Nations General, President General, it is a welcome development. It is something that, wow, everybody will be happy for.
Having listened to this video, over and over again, and with the way Odenawa, was able to analyze this video intelligently in his ways, of analyzing, you can agree with me that nobody gets freedom by agitation. You don't get freedom by agitation. You don't get freedom by propaganda. You don't get freedom by controversy. You get freedom by fighting for it. Take it or leave it. You get freedom by fighting for it. That is why, instead of dwelling in this whole propaganda, in this whole controversies and all of that, let us come together. Let us forget about this faction. I am for this person. Oh, I am not for this person. I am United States of Biafra. Oh, I am Biafra Republic Government in exile. The more you create faction, the more your enemies continue to fight and continue, to form ally to break you down over and over again. Let me tell you one thing that most people who have actually been making noise or in the name of freedom fighting do not understand is that the enemy of Biafra do not sleep nor slumber. They are working 2-4-7, doing everything possible to break Biafrans. But the big question is, are there still few who, in this whole shenanigan, in this whole propaganda, in this whole controversy, are there few who are still ready, to lay down their life to make sure that they get the freedom they truly deserve? And the simple answer is yes. Not just few. At least over 50% of Biafrans in these whole controversies and shenanigans are ready to do the needful to get freedom by all means. Anyhow you want to see it, anyhow you want to take it, the fact still remains that there are still few who are ready to do everything possible to get this freedom that we are talking about. Biafrans needs to give kudos to people like Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa. Even in their hardest time, even in their critical times, they are still fighting and defending their people in every area. and continue to make things very difficult for the zoo government. On that note, I want to thank you once again, for joining us today on this wonderful video. Do not forget that this is Let's Talk TV, and that powerful information video that that was just played, is coming from Ordinary Biafra Unite. A man who has continued to speak the truth and speak the reality, not even today, as of today, right from the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Please, one thing you have to do as a Biafran is to continue to share this video to as many groups and platforms as possible. Let me borrow the word of Modinawa, Tosasia Uzioma. Let the world continue to know what Biafran is fighting for and what Biafra, stands for.
ndị ba ngwadalụ dị nne n'ukwu si wene sowere n'iru akwụkwọ na Eastern District 24 beba isi wene wetara ya bụ ozi dịka isi kwuo n'ụkwa n'iru akwụkwọ ka efi were ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile nọ n'iru akwụkwọ n'oge ugbu a ka efi were ikwu n'ụdị nke gị dọpụra ifiche maka ya bụ ife na comment section bido beba isi wene wetara ya bụ ozi ya na Eastern District 24 nwoke mesịa na ụmụnne m